More broadly, at least 56% of the leaderboard's top 220 holders used similar offshore exchanges. The present prevalence of these likely foreign buyers echoes concerns that congressional Democrats have expressed about the ethics of marketing the coin with a promise of presidential access, raises questions about how attendees at the promotional dinner who are publicly identified only by 3 or 4 letter usernames they've chosen will be vetted. So the TLDR here is that the Trump himself, not the administration, just Trump, has opened up the most brazen avenue of obvious corruption you could possibly imagine. Where if you are a foreign government, foreign person, a company, a US person, whoever, rich person who wants to get access to and get a goodie from the Trump administration, which has consolidated all this power within the singular person of Donald Trump, what do? Well, perhaps you buy millions and millions of dollars in Trump's shitcoin, which personally benefits him, show him, brag about how much you pumped up his crypto coin, or, you get to go to this fancy dinner and get to get your time with him and plead your case.
Yeah, it's completely insane.
It is insane. It is absolutely insane. And again, if we were anything approaching a functioning society, there is no way that we would just permit this and go on and that this would be okay. We are talking about world historic levels of corruption endemic in this whole play. And I don't even know what to say about it. It's so naked. It's so incredibly naked. And of course, the idea that this administration, it's America first and all for US interests. And how does that possibly comport with allowing whoever around the world, but apparently a majority of foreign buyers, to outright bribe you through the mechanism of this meme coin?
It's exactly what we said it would be all along. It's a complete, and again, going back to the Clinton Foundation, remember the claims, actually, I think people on the left and the right could probably agree, like left and populist left and right, could probably agree that what Hillary Clinton was doing with the Clinton Foundation was completely insane.
100%.
That is what Donald Trump is doing with this meme coin, right? It's like a way to peddle influence and access with no transparency at all. That's exactly what this is. So the concept and in principle, it's very much the same thing.
Yeah.
It's like Hunter Biden's art.
Just accelerated through the magic of crypto.
And it's always been, again, like this, Donald Trump is, you use the word naked, and they've never really been particularly ashamed of this. I remember, all these events would be had at the Trump Hotel during Trump 1.0, and you would see, this never-ending door of people from, diplomats, foreign businesses, American businesses, all mingling together literally in the lobby, which is the etymology of our phrase for lobbyists, is because people used to hang out in the lobby. I think it was of the Willard and talk to Ulysses S. Grant. But that's what it is. It's getting access and influence to people in positions of power. And yeah, that's always, Trump divested from the Trump Organization, I think in 1.0 and 2.0. And it's like, why even bother? Just don't even bother.
Right.
Just buy the hotel back. Might as well just move the White House business to the hotel.
Well, and I want to emphasize too the way this relates to the tariffs. Because, and this has always been my contention with the tariffs, that yes, there may be various people in the administration have various goals, but one of the primary goals for Trump is power and the ability. Because hey, this is a great marketing scheme for his crypto shitcoin. Because now everyone in the world has incentive to pay the money, give you your millions, come to your dinner, and make the case for why they need this exemption, they need this carve out, they need this particular goodie so that their business can survive and thrive in the Trump tariff regime. Which is precisely why the power to levy these tariffs is supposed to be with Congress, to avoid exactly this, sort of direct favor trading and having to come and, petition the king. That's precisely why those powers are supposed to be with Congress. So it really fits together. I do want to say Democrats don't get off the hook here. Put E2B up on the screen. This is our other David Dayen work reporting out here. So you've got really a lot of bipartisan support for crypto at this point. And not just crypto, but like allowing crypto to do whatever sort of scams and schemes that they want to. And there was this bill that relates to a light regulatory touch for what's called stable coins that looked like it was on its way to sailing through because crypto has massively invested in funding the campaigns, both of Democrats and Republicans, and punishing any Democrats, by the way, Katie Porter being the primary example of this, who were crosswise with them. So this bill looked like it was going to sail through. Then all of this Trump meme coin stuff really starts to bubble and Democrats start getting uncomfortable. Okay, well, do we really want to associate ourselves with this industry when you see what Trump's doing, et cetera? So it became somewhat of a question whether this pro-crypto bill was going to be able to get through the Senate. And so basically in a classic Schumer move, in fact, someone quotes this as being quote unquote Schumer 101, they're going to add an amendment to the shitty crypto bill that allows Democrats to virtue signal, an amendment that is definitely going to fail, but allows Democrats to virtue signal about how much they disapprove of what Trump is doing and allow them to be able to message that like, oh, they were really trying to stand up to Trump, when really they're just enabling the very corruption that Trump is aggressively partaking in. So that's their move.
Yeah, great. I love it.
Yeah, classic.
Things couldn't be better.
Things could not be better. And last one here, before we get to Emily's breakdown of what's going on with Punch Bowl. Jeff Stein, great reporting on another facet of extraordinary corruption within the Trump administration, which is the use of, put E3 up on the screen here, guys, the use of pushing Starlink as a tool in the tariff trade war. So Jeff Stein says we've obtained internal cable showing how the U.S. government is pushing countries facing tariffs to clear the way for Musk's Starlink. State Department says it's good to encourage other countries to adopt Starlink. Others point to blurring of Musk's private and government roles. And, you know, in fairness, if Elon Musk was not one of the most powerful people within this administration, maybe it does make sense to, you know, the Biden administration also did some promoting of Starlink as an alternative to Chinese telecoms. Like who owns the satellites and the telecom infrastructure is very important. Personally, I don't want it to be owned by any singular person, even if that person does business in America, you know, or is an American citizen as Elon Musk is. So let me just give you a little bit of the details here because I think that is extraordinary. He says, less than 2 weeks after President Trump announced 50% tariffs on goods from the tiny African nation of Lesotho, something we talked about here.
But I think you pronounced it incorrectly. I think this was the whole thing when, remember, Lesotho was one of the, everyone was like, such a random country.
Right.
And then everyone was like, you're pronouncing Lesotho. Everyone's pronouncing
Oh,
Lesotho
you don't say the TH, it's
Something
just
like
a
that.
T. Okay.
I'm sorry, I didn't take the time
Apologies,
to learn.
Lesotho. The country's communications regulator held a meeting with representatives of Starlink after their hit with the tariffs. The satellite business owned by Elon Musk had been seeking access to customers in Lesotho, but it was not until Trump unveiled the tariffs and called for negotiations over trade deals that leaders of the country of roughly 2 million people awarded Musk's firm the nation's first ever satellite internet service license, slated to last for 10 years. And it goes on to say they're far from the only country that has decided to suddenly take up Starlink. The company reached distribution deals with 2 providers in India in March, has won at least partial accommodations with Somalia, Democratic Republic of Congo, Bangladesh, Pakistan, Vietnam, although this is probably not a comprehensive count. So there you go. Congratulations, Elon Musk. Doge was not a complete and utter failure. Tesla may be in the tank, but your Starlink business is thriving.
Well, this is one of the complicated things about Elon Musk, and it's with SpaceX and Starlink in particular, I think are the best examples, is that Starlink is an excellent product. Like, it is genuinely a significant innovation, and it's helpful, and it like probably is the best candidate, like SpaceX, in a lot of these different bidding processes and a lot of these different negotiations. But you can never actually, like, nobody will ever know whether Starlink or SpaceX during the Trump administration were chosen because they were the best candidates, or other Musk products, by the way, get contracts because they were the best candidates, because obviously there's not a fair process, period. The illusion of a conflict is a conflict of interest. Anyone who studies conflicts of interest knows that. They'll tell you just the appearance of a conflict in and of itself is undue influence. And so that is the problem with having Musk and the meme coin. just be hovering over every policy decision that the Trump administration is making, foreign and domestic, is you can never disentangle the undue influence
That's right.
that their personal interest has in all of this. And I think that's probably why the meme coin and I think even like Starlink is part of the background of our conversations, not ours.